Hello and welcome everyone to the Collegiate Chess League's Division 7 semifinals here in spring 2024 season, brought to you by SIG. My name is Joe. I'm the commissioner of the league. Let's dive right in. This is Clemson versus Hyderabad B. The games have already begun. All right, here we have double B underscore 13 at 1800. This is a player who just subscribed to Eric Rosen's Twitch chat and said, "Wish me luck. About to play my CCL semifinals." So shout out to him using his Twitch Prime and advertising the CCL with it in Eric Rosen's stream. So shout out to Eric Rosen. But yeah, it's pretty late for Clemson. It's like almost midnight, basically, 11 p.m. Eastern. And apparently it's pretty early in the morning for India. And they were apparently celebrating last night. They have some festival. So, yeah, should be interesting to see how they do. Looks like Theo is a pretty strong player. Ame Diodar. We have Ame. We also have Aman, who looks to be getting absolutely crushed here by B. Tregda Brandon, board 2. So I think I probably have the move orders, or not the move order, the board orders wrong. But let's see. This is a Sicilian, a peace sacrifice. And there goes the queen, Aman. Botez Gambit. And it's 2 minor pieces, though, for it. So White's trying to survive here, it seems. Will it work out? Probably not. But you can try. You certainly can try. All right, Ye Blundered versus Ujasiv. Looks like there was... Eval Bar is just adjusting from the previous game. So Ujasiv, bottom board. And Ye Blundered. Who is this? Alex Selby. Let me maybe take a quick look at these ratings. Make sure I have everything right. So it looks like Theo should be the strongest player. Salty Broccoli, top player, versus Kush. This is team captain. So I definitely have the order. Let me fix that real quick. Silly me, I put them in the order that they sent it to me. That was a big mistake. So strongest player from India looks to be Theo. And Theo's actually losing by a lot. Takes. Rook takes, king in the corner. And now would you double? I would double. Why not? Yeah, this is looking really good for Clemson. Doubled, knight here, rook here. And now, computer wants this. I suspect. We'll see if it happens. But yes, great position for Clemson. Can we bet channel points? That's a great question. I don't know how many people are going to be tuning in, but... or gambling. But I just put the prediction in the chat. Calling for knight g7. That seems like a strong move. Knight g7. Apparently the move knight e5 gets the job done to bring it back to even Steven. So, yeah, interesting position here for double D. Sorry, double B. I don't know what I was thinking there. All right, let me keep looking at these board lineups if I have them right. Amon, Ame, who's Ame? Ame is Theo. Okay, bishop just simply back. A calm retreating move. Oh, we have results already. Amon goes down to Brandon. Yes. Turns out Botez Gambit. Pretty strong. All right. First point. Board 2 to Clemson. And he should have beaten Amon, who should be board 3. So let me swap Amon and Ujasov. Okay. All right, we had the knight takes on g7 move. And that's just simply grabbing a pawn. Takes, and now this is a big checkmate threat. Computer's calling for h5 here. Check, block, check here. Check. I mean, I figured that should win a rook, no? Here, takes, block, check. Here, hits this rook here. Wrong move order. Okay. Rook f8. King here. Takes, and then here or something. Should just do it. Should just about do it. Clemson's stacking up the points right now. Ujasa very low against Ye blundered Alex Selby. 18 seconds now. Position's fairly even though still. Knight versus bishop. Pawns doubled and isolated, not looking great. Rook h to h8 would have been interesting. Or no, computer won the rook back, I guess that's what h8 means. Pawn push. Rook has to go to one of these three, comes here. Push here. No, here. Okay, looking for this. Here. There's a check. A check to be had. Check to be given. King steps up. Here and here. Threaten mate. Do it. Nope. Here, here. Yeah, big time pressure for Ujasov. Rook down, pressure on the pawn. Let's see the pawn push. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Gonna flag. No. Barely any time. Here and now takes, or takes. Definitely take this or this. Yes, 5 plus 2. Another result. Kush gets a huge point on board 4, taking down the salty broccoli. That's got to be crazy. I mean, no, last year was not 5-5. It's always been 5-2. Delgica, thank you for the follow. Takes Kush. He's got to be really happy with this result. Yes, this, you need knight f8, apparently. You go here, takes. Oh, well, if the knight was on f8, you'd have that covered. What a checkmate. That's filthy. That was huge. All right, tied game, 1-1. Double B. Up bishop and 2 pawns, but black's threatening checkmate. King all up in our space. Not cool. Rook here to block. Check here. There's rook here. That's threatening a perpetual. Oh, you blundered perpetual, dude. You just blundered a perpetual. What needed to happen? Rook f3 needed. Wow. Hyderabad clawing their way back. That was a big mistake from Blake. draws the top board, which is still a good result, but not given that position. 1.5 to 1.5. And now Alex Selby looking to convert. Don't stalemate. We've seen some crazy stuff. Here, check and mate. All right, so Yi blundered. Alex giving his team a 1-point lead, but they definitely could have had more. Top board, blundering mate to bottom board. That was like a 500 rating point difference. And their bottom board, blundering a perpetual to the top board. Win up a bishop and 2 pawns. Crazy. Yeah, missed the check. Missed a rook check for sure. Anyways, all right. Round 1 in the books. 3 more to go. Clemson going to look to add on to this lead. Hyderabad, rough start, but they really came back in the end of at least 2 of those games. Could have been much worse, for sure. I mean, I'm mainly thinking about that draw. It could be 3-1. 2-point lead. Instead, only 1-point lead. Here we go. Kush, only player to get a point in that first round. Team captain. Board 4. Now playing against board 2, Brandon. Brandon looks like he's playing a London system. He's 2,000 against Kush. Kush 1560, but able to get a win against an even stronger player in the first round. So let's see how he does here against Brandon. All right, we have a couple predictors in chat. Anyone vote for Hyderabad? Yes, one person put 100 points. Arco Dipto. That name rings a bell. Heavy odd favorites for him. If he wins, he gets 1.2k channel points. So his team only down by 1 point. How much time do you get to prep? In theory, these opponents knew who they'd be playing a week in advance, and they've played each other earlier in the season as well. So the first round of the season was January 20th. So in theory, they had the rosters submitted well before then. When I say well before then, it was publicly announced maybe a few days before January 20th. But they didn't know that they'd be playing these exact 4 people until, 15 minutes before the match. Like, in theory, that's when the check-in process is. But they were actually showed up a little bit late. So I'm assuming the team had more than 4 players. You can have a max of 8 players per team. Plus, you could sub up players from lower teams. As long as they didn't play in that same week. But anyways, nonetheless, needless to say, you can't really prep for a specific opponent if your opponents have a lot of players on their team. So there's a lot of subs that could be put in. But you have access to the full roster list much ahead of advance. I'm not speaking properly English. All right. Let me get back to the chess commentary. This is much easier for me to do. Okay, a6. Bishop and queen lined up here. This pawn's defended twice. This is a really well-placed knight for Brandon. Let me look at some of the other games. We have all 4 games here in round 2. Salty Broccoli, 2100. Looks like he's crushing. He got crushed in the first round by Kush. So what happened here? Trade. Bishop takes. Massive fork of the 2 rooks. Bishop up. Yeah. Here now. Rook check. Oh, bishop e6. Looks crushing. Computer actually says d5 is GG, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because this not only threatens this, but it threatens this. So here we have the move rook to g5. Yes. Rook g5. It trades. You know, when you're up in exchange, you just want to simplify, but d5 was much better. Much, much better. Attack the knight. I mean, I'm surprised why the rook check wasn't so good, honestly. Rook check? Can I do the explorer? What's so bad with rook check? King here, now this. Knight to d8. Ah, that's such a subtle detail. So yeah, you start with d5. You start with d5. There's no knight d8 there. Knight moves. Otherwise, you take it with check. Then you go check with the rook. King steps up. Bishop to e6 comes with a fork. You win the rook. So, yeah, still a completely dominating position here. Obviously, d5 was best. And when I say obviously, I mean after the analysis and the computer evaluation and all of this. Here, I mean, we could just check if we really wanted to, but computer likes to just bring the bishop back wherever. Here, 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 here. Yeah, this. And, oh, this. Talk about a zugzwang. Talk about a zugzwang. This bishop and king could never move. This. Connect 4, connect 5, almost connect 7. Just missing one more. Now just walk the king up. Just walk the king on up. I guess the king could never infiltrate, unfortunately. But yeah, the knight is free to move. If you take, then you're in the ultimate zugzwang. So taking is really a painful, painful death. King here, knight here. I guess you can go here. And then you're back in zugzwang territory. Keistendorf, thanks for the follow. Welcome. All right, a5. Trying to keep this king out. You accidentally chose Clemson. You spent 40 points. Okay, trade. I'm surprised there wasn't taking this way, if I'm being honest. King here now. These pawns are going to be sitting ducks. Knight moves. We can go here. But then the king comes here. I guess we can come back with the check. It's always this. Salty broccoli, looking to convert this. Let's check back in with Brandon and Kush. Kush is just destroying. Okay, destroying maybe over exaggerating, but knight c3 check was what the computer wanted, or bishop a6. Pawn push, rook c1. Computer still just loves the sacrifice, which isn't so obvious, but just opens up the b file. We have opposite side castles. Black's done a good job of keeping things closed on the king side. And now lots of space, lots of pieces, lots of pressure here on this queen side where the king is castled for white. So strong. Kush he's a strong board 4. Let's look at Blake. Blake is the team captain here for Clemson. And looks like he's not doing too hot. Both players just under 2 minutes. See a rook trade. Knight takes back. Pressure on the rook. Yeah, Ujasov Just wins in exchange or no? Wait, what is this? Yes, up in exchange. So going to be tough for Blake. Let's check in with Alex and Amai. Okay, looks fairly even. Isolated pawn for black. Can it be taken advantage of? Not so clear. Pawn push, offering the bishop pair. Is there a penalty for being late? You have 15 minutes to check in. If you miss the 15-minute mark, you forfeit. So I guess that's the penalty. They were late by maybe like 10 minutes, so they were fine. $21.40 versus 1800. Alex could get some good points here if he holds on to this even position. Honestly, white's slightly favored. Results. Salty Broccoli gets a checkmate against Amon. Yeah, this was such a clean game. Yeah, just absolute zugzwang. Beautiful stuff there from Salty Broccoli after losing in the first round to Kush by a nasty checkmate. All right, Ujasov looking to increase the lead. He went from being up in exchange to up a rook. Blake trying to hold everything together. It's not going to work out. Here and here. GG. Yep. Thank you, unranked matches. All right, up a rook. Blake might resign. Here we go. All right, Ujasov gets on the board. So 3.5 to 2.5. Only down by 1 now. How's Kush doing? Brandon. Looks like Brandon's done some work here since we've last tuned in. So knight c3 check was missed a few times. Trade the knight. Knight dives in, and Kush gives up the exchange there. Queen check. Rook sacrifice. He sacks the rook. He's going for mates. Kush is up material, but he's down on time. Bishop here. F takes. And he's looking to take again. I would play h5, but that pawn's going to be a beast. Queen takes was apparently the move. Now the king's on the run. Oh, boy. It's even material. Rook here. Pawn push. Oh, man. Black has escaped white's net. And now black with huge threats takes with check. King in the corner. You don't want that to queen. Pawn push. A mistake. Allowing for this move b4. Only move. 1 second. He went one move too short. Oh, he gets mated. Wow. Kush on board 4 smokes the top 2 boards. He's 2 for 2. Holy smokes. He needed b4, and that queen couldn't take because then white's army then infiltrates. Oh my goodness. Kush ties it up. 3.5, 3.5, and this game ends in a draw. Ye blundered. Opposite color bishops versus Amai. So Amai goes up to 1. Alex goes up to 1.5. And this match is all evened up here. 4 to 4. All tied up. Crazy. Yeah. If we could go back, I don't know how much time I have to look at this, but this game had some really key moments. Look at this rook sacrifice. It wasn't reading as the top move, but here, queen takes is plus 2.5. Anything else is a draw. This is even worse. Now b3. King goes on the run. Eventually b3. Yeah, this move not so good. The computer wants rook to g6, going for this sacrifice. And yeah, here, this move not so good. It wants the move rook to c8. That's so hard to find. That is impossible. But the idea is that, okay, it guards this check, this square, and now the queen's free to come in. Unreal. Yeah, pawn push, and now b4, only move. b4, and if queen takes, queen c7. Bishop e2 check. King to a4, only move. Anything else, and you lose. Wow. Anyways, first 2 rounds, crazy. Kush, board 4 for Hyderabad B, keeping his team afloat. He's got half the team points against the top 2 strongest Clemson players. And I suspect he's underrated by a lot. Man, Brandon's over 2,000 now, actually. Oh, Brandon's the board 2. That makes sense. So 2 players over 2,000 for Clemson. Hyderabad has 2130 in Amai, and Ujasov is 1860. Aman Dokanya, 1900. Okay. Ratings may be a little off from the board order. I don't really know. Aman should be second? I don't know. It's not what their matchup's getting, but all right, waiting for round 3. It's all tied up. It's as close as it gets, 4-4. 8 games left. Now we're going to see the top boards versus the top boards, bottom boards versus the bottom boards. I'm looking at board 4 for Hyderabad. Kush, he's 2 for 2 against the top 2 boards, so the bottom 2 boards should be a piece of cake for him. We'll see. Still waiting for these games to start. I don't know how impatient I am. Feels like it takes a while. All right, here we go. All right, Blake versus Aman. Round 3 underway. Blake 1 point away from 1,800. He could get it in this match. Obviously not the main objective. These 2 teams, they want to fight for the final spot for Division 7 championship. Let me look at their bracket, actually. In D7, how did the teams get here? So first and foremost, awaiting the victor of this match is Stony Brook, who beat Rutgers in the other semifinals match. This matchup, Clemson beat Cincinnati and then Kanpur to make it to the semifinals. Hyderabad beat Berkeley and then Texas at Austin. So, yeah, both these teams having to play in round 1. Hello, Braining. Thank you, Brody. And let me double check the prizes for D7. So, winner of this match is guaranteed $200 for second place, with a chance to win $400 for first. Winner of the third place match gets $150, and fourth place you get 3-month diamond times 4. Hello, Kong. Good to see you. All right, big round here, round 3, all knotted up at 4 each. Kind of want to take a look at Kush. He's been crushing the competition. Pretty even so far on this one. Let's check on top board. Amai versus Brandon. Both players over 2,000. Joining the Brody Club, as it's been called. H4 on the board for white. I like this attack with the rook on the H file, especially against the Fianchetto. Queen D2 also comes to mind a lot of times. We see black, Brandon, trying to stir up some trouble on the queen side here. Otherwise, white's going to storm down the H file. So, H5 makes the most sense. Open up that H file. Knocking at the door. Does white follow through, or does white flinch? I would consider Queen D2 and go for this as well. So, decisions to be made here. I have said that, Brody. You must be tuning in late. That's okay. All right. Ujasa versus Broccoli. Salty Broccoli, he had a rough checkmate against Kush in the first round, but he answered back with a nice win in round 2. Here he's in round 3 now against Ujasiv. So I guess Ujasiv and Aman have like swapped their ratings somehow. Or their pairings, I'm not sure. That, or maybe like Aman is like provisional, I don't know. But Blake is the board 4 for Clemson. Now he's playing in 1960 here. Nice long nap, sounds good. Bishop sacrifice, a discovery. Bishop to B4. C3. And you can get that pawn back. I guess we take with check, huh? Or we could. Nice move from Blake here. Yeah, I guess this would be the matchup to watch. Both players over 2,000. So, Rook C1 played. So no castling queenside. Maybe no castling at all for white. Queen D2 was played. Wow. No way. Bishop takes. Wow. I am actually shocked. Brandon sends the bishop for 2 pawns. I'm still playing h5. Yeah, no castling for white. I mean, you could technically, I mean, you're not going to. Yeah, h5. You could take here, and this bishop's going to be a little safer of a piece, but I mean, this h file I think is the difference maker. I personally would not have sacrificed, but you could tell Brandon feels the pressure of the position and maybe is a little uncomfortable, maybe a little nervous. And when you feel these things, you feel pressured to do something extreme, like sacrificing a bishop for 2 pawns. But these pawns, they could have also been in the way of white's pieces. So opening things up against this king may be ill-advised. We see a pawn on b4 attacking the knight. That would come with a tempo as well. So probably expecting a knight move. Knight back to e2 or d1. All fairly common, sensible moves here. This knight not yet taking the bishop. We don't want to push. This keeps things closed. We want to keep things open. We want to capture. But when we do that, there's drawbacks. This pawn can recapture. And what that does for black is it opens both the rook along the f-file and the queen on the 7th as a defensive piece. Instead, queen a5, looking to target this a pawn. We can push this. Perhaps. Perhaps not. I don't know. Right before exam season, Brody. Yeah, I think it varies on the schools, actually. Okay, a3, the move I suggested, but forgetting about knight takes, that's going to distract the queen from being on this file. This is not going well for Amai. Brandon, a timely capture on e3. Didn't do it earlier, waited for the time to be right, and it comes at the perfect time after a3. Big mistake, because queen takes, pawn takes, or even pawn push, frankly. But maybe even just, I mean, what would you do? Takes here. Now this allows knight takes c2 with check. Hello. What else? Oh my gosh, the computer's even saying knight queen takes b4 works. Queen takes knight c2. That's a fork. What are you going to do? Not take it? Take it. Knight d3 fork. Both knights swinging in. That's if you're fancy. The cleanest, most simplest is even better. Knight c2 played. Go ahead, try to take the queen. You're in check right now. Take back. And now you still have queen b4. But the best move is queen a1. Somehow, some way. I don't even get that. Rook c1. And then knight d3. Opening up this rook. Oh my good lord. So it all stems from knight d3. You're in a fork right now. You're in desperation to find crazy ideas. Queen a1 check. Rook block. Does he find knight d3? Only move. Or you could take on b2 and do this, but that's not nearly as good. You want this. Crazy. Crazy. 30 seconds to find it, Brandon. Oh, he doesn't do it. Now he loses his knight. Unreal. He misses knight d3. Lots of tactics. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. And now Amai is up. What, a piece for 2 pawns? And he's up time? No, that's not how you wanted it to go. Crazy, that position. Okay, Kush. Making easy work of the board 3. He gets a point. I mean, he's going to sweep without any issues. Pawn push. The pawns are just going in hungry hippo mode. Knight takes, knight takes. There goes that. Check. Back and mate. Oh. Yeah, that was crazy. This is a bit too much. Okay. Anyhow, let's take a gander at the other games. Well, we've been looking at this one. This should be good for Mai. Brandon was winning. He missed his shot. Now he's losing. Hyderabad up by 1 thanks to their board 4, who may or may not be actually board 4, but rook here is a threat of checkmate. So you could go rook a2, supported by the bishop. Rook back, maybe a little passive. Bishop here guards this. Computer wanted rook d7. That was a fork of mates. Check, king aside. King over. That's a check. These are 2 checks. Check here, king here. Bishop guarding the 2 knight checks. Here, rook g3 is a fork of pawns. Both sides, less than 20 seconds. There goes a trade. 2 pawns versus 3. One of these is going to drop. Pawn push, looks for a trade. Doubled, isolated pawns. Rook defends this guy. King's going to walk up and scoop this up. King can take, you can, is this a draw? Not a lot of time to figure it out if you're not sure. Keep rook on is safe bet. King up, you can take this. Gives a check, gives a block. Rook behind, check, king back. Uh-oh. Still a draw, but, I mean, give me the pawns every time. King up, of course, check, king back, king up, rook check. Can we check, trade, and go here? Or we would just want to perpetually... Yeah, king's going to hide here. Blake, up 2 pawns. Trade off. Ah, yes. King's going to mop up both pawns. All right, draw. This game, white's winning. How? Because the knight's going to come here and promote. Up a piece. This game, both sides, less than 10 seconds. Knight takes, trade. Queen takes here with check. Not anymore, queen's here. That's a check. Block. That's a check. Fork. Take this. No. Rook here. Interesting. Now push that pawn. Wait. Oh, queen here was apparently great. Here, here. Rook in. Now we're going to get checked. Check and check. Here, that's got to be a blunder. Check, block. Here, that was a mate threat. You just blundered mate in 2. Oh my god. Salty broccoli. When all odds were stacked against him. Unreal. I have to put some points on the board here. Theo beat Brandon. But Broccoli gets a big point. So Hyderabad is up by 1. 5.5, 6.5. Going into the 4th and final round. Oh my goodness. I need a breather. After this. Salty Broccoli was losing in this one. When the rook made it to the back rank, here, queen to g4, rook g6, and now the move is queen to h5, threatening this mate. Instead, he blunders f2 mate. Wow. I mean, that was very important for Clemson. If Ujasov won that, it'd be 7.5. Well, yeah, it would be 7.5 to 4.5. Unreal. the consequences of this game, of this result. So Clemson is still alive, only down by 1. They need 3 points in the 4th round to win. A tough task, but they can do it. They need 2.5 points to tie it for overtime. Here it is. Captain versus captain. Board 4 versus board 4. Kush is the point scorer for both teams. 3 out of 3. Can Blake put a stop to Kush's terror on the Clemson team? Kush is spending some time. He plays E3. All right, let's look at some of the other games. Let's look at the top game. Salty versus Thea. Both players are 2 out of 3. Both players over 2,100. Brandon with his loss, he goes under 2,000. Okay, opposite side castles. This is going to be exciting. B5. Pawn Storm. H3, a little start of a Pawn Storm. Maybe. This king may be a little bit safer with all the pawns and the knight. Strong bishops here for black. Yeah, it's a lot easier for black to start something up here against white's king. So knight here, getting out of the way of the pawn maybe. But yeah, initially I like black here. Yes, A5, just more natural. Knight here, are we threatening anything? Even taking. I'm not sure the bishop's so strong with the knight on F8. Black maybe can just continue on, and they do so. Although push, I'm not so sure. G4, yeah, it looks like if you play A3, B3 looks good. B4 definitely feels like something. Push is probably the big threat. But here, I mean, can we pass? Can we take even? Is it that bad? This other rook probably going to come over. Yes, pushes the pawn and now B3. Queen has to move. You're not taking. You're going to move the queen. Maybe here? I mean, queen here, okay. Maybe we're lining this. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe just this right away and then queen takes. Honestly, I'm liking how Broccoli's reacting. Look at this, man. This is how you open things up. Eval at a calm, steady 000. Somehow dead even. But oh my goodness. This king is about to have the roof torn off his house. An absolute tornado of pawns here. Swarming the queen side. Maximum contact between these 4 pawns. They're standing face to face right now. Noses touching. I mean, I don't know how this computer is saying it's dead even. Apparently, you got to play A takes B. Yeah, I mean, hey, free pawn, am I right? Am I right? Only move, by the way, for 000s. Anything else? Black's in favorite. Yeah. I mean, you got to be worried about takes with discovery, right? Takes, queen comes out. You got to be worried about that stuff. Like, if takes, I mean, you're going to go here. And even this and this is scary. Like, I guess taking B3 is the only logical thing. The other things you can think about trying to attack the king. Knight takes the only check, and the computer says it's -2, so that's not great. Bishop takes was the logical idea because you want the queen to come in, right? But now, bishop takes f5, and this really important attacker is just wiped off the board. Even b takes a is -4, so Salty Broccoli, he goes for the gamble. This was not a time for the gamble, unfortunately. He really needed a takes b. He dodges this. This is going to be another check. And, I mean, you don't want to take with the king. You don't want to do that. Computer still loves this. But, yeah, queen takes. And now the sacrifice is looking not so good. What did I say about the roof off the house? This king is now homeless. He has a cardboard box, and it's not even his. Unfortunate. This king, meanwhile, he had a bird hit the window, but didn't break through. Just left a smudge. Anyways, rook here hits the queen. Don't take the pawn unless you're ready to part ways with your lady. Queen back. Computer wants to take on b8, by the way. Probably not what you want. Hyderabad only needs 2 points to win this match. This likely going to be one of them. How's Blake doing? Kush coming in hot. Both knights. Pressure on f7. Pressure on this knight. Only defender of checkmate. Oh boy. Kush is going to get the sweep. I think Hyderabad's got this now. Arco Dipto in the chat. Going to get all those channel points. Salty Broccoli. He plays Queen C. Oh, this is tough to watch. Brandon, is there any hope for this Clemson team? Any hope whatsoever? Brandon has taken a pawn. He's attacking the knight. This thing's hanging. Computer says knight a5. How about Alex? Oh, it's not looking good here either. Oh, no. It's coming apart here in round 4. It was tied. Hyderabad goes up by 1 in round 3. And then they get the job done here in round 4. White's completely crushing. Up a piece. Simplifying. Queen's off the board. Up 2 pawn. Look, hasn't moved a single. Only 1 pawn push. Queen, knight, and bishop out. Okay. Rook g1. What on earth? I gotta look back at this game. What was this? Fried liver. Check. Take. Queen out. Bishop back. Queen up. Bishop back. F7. Hello. Here. Back. Here. Queen up. Discovery. Check and fork. Oh, you got to know this fried liver theory, I guess. What do they do? Yeah. We're still seeing fried livers here in D7. But yeah, this Hyderabad team. There's only one good move here apparently, knight a5. "20 seconds. I feel like it's not that hard to see. This is hanging, this is hanging. 17, 16, 15, 14, 10, knight a5. Knight a5 played. Queen a6 and now takes. Takes and maybe there's this. Ooh, this early. Now the computer wants to take here, actually. Either which way. So knight a5 found. Not the best follow-up, though. Needed to take the piece, let the knight fall, and then play this. Because you get the piece again. Let's look at Cushion Blake. Both players under a minute. These are the captains. Yeah, the rook wants to come here. In fact, this move did nothing to prevent that. The idea maybe was to run. You can try this. But okay, king going for a little walk. Check. King still running. Queen takes g7. Knight takes here. Knight takes here. Knight takes here. Less than 10 seconds. It's just a demolition. King continues his run, but now knight takes. Gonna force the king down. You gotta sack the rook. Your knight's hanging. This is just sad. Theo takes down Broccoli. This was the other really sad one. Yeah, he misses A takes B. And there's a nice mate. Mate in 3 here for Ujasiv. Now mate in 2. Knight c3 check. That's filthy. Here. King e1. Knight c... Yeah, knight discovery. This. Queen takes. Queen here or here. Or rook here. Yeah. When you have mate in 1 3 different ways, I mean, this is just... okay, Kush wins. Oh my god. It's going to be a sweep. It's going to be a sweep in round 4. Maximum destruction. Maximum pain. Hyderabad coming in true form in round 4. And they are ready in the finals to take on Stony Brook. Hold on, let me start putting some points on the board. Kush goes a perfect 4 for 4. Theo goes 3 out of 4. Ujasiv goes 2 out of 4. And here Aman, who only has a draw so far, about to get his first win of the match, if this holds. Computer says it's mate in 9. Up a ton of material. Now it's mate in 6 with the move f3. Not played. Doesn't need it. Oh, dude, Alex threatening mate of his own. That's funny. Rook takes pawn. Yes. Good shelter. Knight, one last chance for the mate threat. Okay, force that rook off. No shot of a comeback now, right? Takes that pawn. You could take that last pawn. Okay, skewers that last pawn. You could have gone for the knight as well with the discovery. This knight's cut off to one last final square. Only hope, stalemate. But doesn't really even matter. Going for another queen. You can take that pawn. Yes. There goes that pawn. There goes another pawn. Hoping for stalemates still. Queen here was stalemate. But nope. Everything with check. Aman gets his first win of the match, and the 4th round is a sweep. Hyderabad doesn't give up a single point. 10.5, 5.5 final score. Hyderabad moves on, guaranteeing themselves $200 with a chance to double it if they can beat Stony Brook in the D7 finals. Congratulations to them, taking down Clemson. Clemson will play against Rutgers in the third place match for a chance of some money themselves. But yeah, that was a close match to start all the way through 3 rounds, only down by 1 in that last round, but Clemson unable to find any momentum on any of the 4 boards. Hyderabad had a perfect finish to that match. 4-zip sweep. And led by their board 4 captain, Kush, who probably is underrated. I have a hunch. But yeah, thanks for watching. You've all been great. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you think buying the lessons on chess.com will do you justice? I think that they'll definitely help you. I think that there's ways that you can get it for free. For example, if you're in college, you can join the college ambassador program and get a free diamond membership. Yeah, sorry, Blake. That was rough at the end, but it was a close match before round 4. Yeah, there's also student discounts, actually, if you're in college. So a lot of free resources. If you're in a college club and maybe you don't want to be an ambassador, maybe your club has an ambassador and they can gift you a free membership as well, because they can do that. So yeah, let me know if you're in college and I can try to connect you. If you're not in college, then there's other ways you could do it, but I would say try it out. There's a lot of free resources on YouTube. Yeah, you could look at a lot of places for free resources. Anyways, thanks everyone for being here. Congratulations again to Hyderabad B. They did really well, and good luck to them next week, and good luck to Clemson next week as they'll still be playing. Elijah, thanks for the follow. I'm going to end here. I'm going to raid on my personal channel. Did I say raid? I don't think I'll raid myself, but shout out to myself if you guys want to follow me. Anyways, I'm going to find someone to raid. Maybe Rosen's still on. Anywho, thanks everyone. Take care, and I'll see you later. 1 week left in CCL next weekend, so stay tuned. We'll cover some of those matches. All right. Good night.